Insolence elected to respond to mass Viking by building even more Phoenix, and I think that if Insolence has his way, he'll build 50 Phoenix if he has to. I think that he believes the Phoenix Viking trade-off, or 1-for-1, is to his advantage, and I think we'll continue to see more and more Phoenix from Insolence. And I think what we saw in Game 2 is something that Insolence will try to force every game when it becomes a 200 on 200 unit game. In any event, we're starting right back at the basics. Both players have less than 15 units at this point. Supply depot for Strelok, and he's building the barracks in his main base, and just as that happens, Insolence warps in a gateway in his main base, so we're not going to see any early cheese play by either of these players. The first scout on the board is a probe by Insolence. Strelok usually begins scouting once his barracks is about half done, and that's exactly what he's doing in this game as well. The two scouts will pass together, and no doubt both players will now know where their opponent is, just based on where their scouts passed each other.
That's for sure.
So Insolence has to be 100% comfortable now with the buildings that he sees in Strelok's main base, and Insolence continues forward with a standard opening. Interesting the way these pylons are placed, kind of almost walling off his mineral line in the way a Terran would wall things off.
Yeah, very SimCity style for sure.
Yeah, and the second, the cybernetics core warping in indicates, more standard play, more macro play. And it looks like this probe is going to use the watchtower for vision, and Strelok's SCV continues to circle around the Protoss base. The first unit out of the gateway will be a stalker, and it's being chrono boosted in, so Insolence wants Strelok out of his base. And Strelok presses forward with a Marine. The concussion shell research is going on the tech lab that is attached to the first barracks. And let's see what happens here. We've got a command center, expansion command center again by Strelok, and is Strelok going to move forward with 2 Marines, 2 Marauders, and 1 SCV, as he did in Game 1 and Game 2? We're going to find that out in short order.
Now, it looks like he's just keeping to the same build, except for the fact that he's going for that early expand.
That's the same time he got the expand before, I thought.
No, he did get a factory and started working on tech before he got his expansion last game. From what I remember, anyway. But here comes the normal push from Strelok. So Razor Inso's going to need to do something about it. There are 2 gateways being warped in right now, as well as the expansion nexus by Inso. And Inso is now pulling out a sentry. So 2 stalkers and a sentry versus 2 Marines, 2 Marauders, and an SCV.
And the Insolence's probe saw all that because he took the watchtower, so Insolence is not going to exactly be shocked by the arrival of 2 Marauders and 2 SCVs. Now, a second barracks and a factory being placed by Strelok. And Strelok didn't like what he saw, and he's backing up. He will take the watchtower. A very thorough move by Strelok. Orbital command being researched on the second command center, and we're noticing as well the stim pack upgrade is happening, so we're seeing a virtually identical build order to what we saw on Game 1, which was a much smaller map. Now, and Insolence's expansion nexus is now up, and he's chrono boosting in probes on both nexus, 4 warp gate, 1 robotics facility. So once again, Insolence is going big, heavy-duty economy, and he is just going to dare Strelok to do something about it. And it looks like Strelok has no interest in doing anything. Robotics facility is up. First unit out of the robotics facility. This time is an observer. I guess with a larger map, he'd rather have the observer instead of the immortal.
Makes sense, yeah.
And medevac dropship coming out of a starport with no add-on. Strelok once again is gonna go infantry heavy. 11 Marines, 5 Marauders, stim pack concussion shells researched. Insolence has got 40 probes. Strelok's got 35 SCVs. The observer's going out. No one's done anything about Insolence hasn't done anything about this SCV. Now we see a robotics bay, which is warping in about halfway to completion. You know what? And Insolence keeps chrono boosting in probes. So this is a big time economy. We see 4 assimilators, 4 Insolence as well. Strelok is moving forward with 1 dropship. This observer's going to see it all. And so let's see how Insolence reacts. He better react soon. I guess yep, there you go.
But there is a dropship. Are we going to see some elevator play? It looks like...
well, what's he doing with all this stuff over here? I guess he's afraid of a dropship in another part of his base.
Yeah.
And again.
Uh-oh.
So basically...
Oh, never mind.
So basically, we've got this set army here protecting 1 base. Oh, they're going to get in. No.
Only a couple get in. But they get picked up.
And that dropship has been beaten up.
And that bad force field placement by Inso causing him to waste a little bit more energy there, but it looks like it's going to cause Terran to push back, and Strelok moves his units back into his main base.
The dropship's only got 40 health left, so it's probably a wise decision. You can't do any of that elevator play trickiness with a half-dead dropship.
That's for sure.
So nice cat. That was an interesting cat and mouse game between these 2 players, and you got to give Insolence credit for making that move. Now we're seeing a Stargate.
2 Stargates.
And Thermal Lance is being researched, and once again, Strelok is going to build Vikings. I want to see if Strelok is going to try to build 10, 15, or 20 Vikings as he did in Game 2, and try to match Insolence. I want to see if he's going to do that. I think that's a bad trade.
Yeah, I do too.
To make, but we'll see. Now, look at only 1 starport for Strelok this time. Instead, 4 barracks, 1 factory. The siege tank upgrade has been completed. And so it looks like Strelok is going to try his luck with a couple of siege tanks and a whole lot of infantry. And we still notice this. Until the Phoenix hit the board, it looks like Insolence is rather paranoid about dropships.
That's
because
for sure.
of the way all his units are positioned.
And here we go.
Let's get ready to rumble. By the way, Thermal Lance just finished.
And we see it there. Oh, a nice pickup on those tanks. Let's see if that's going to be able to do the trick here.
The Terran army's devastated.
That's right. Great move by Inso as he picks up those tanks, causes the Strelok to have to push back to his base and start to defend.
And that was perfect timing for Insolence. He got Thermal Lance just in time, and now the hunted is the hunter. Insolence is moving forward with 9 Stalkers, 2 Phoenix, 3 Colossus. Strelok has 2 tanks, 5 Marines, 6 Marauders. Strelok's in big trouble.
That's right. Inso is looking good here.
And economic-wise, both players are about even. 57 probes for Insolence, 53 SCVs for Strelok. And he's able to pick off. The Vikings are just too slow. The Stalkers, the fastest armored unit in the game, are able to poke in, snipe a Viking, and fascinating that Protoss has decided to back off. Is there a dropship somewhere in the back of somebody? I saw him back off and thinking, where's the dropship?
Yeah, for sure.
And look at these Phoenix right over top of the watchtower, taking away Strelok's vision. And the Vikings are Phoenix hunting, folks. And a whole bunch of Marines. Now, notice the Marines are at +1 attack, 0 armor. The combat shield research has been completed. More Phoenix coming out. We got 8 Phoenix at this point.
And no forge or even upgrades for Inso's ground units.
Interesting scan by... The scan by Strelok will spot the expansion command center. And we don't see... Or the expansion nexus, rather. And we're not seeing a third command center. By and is Strelok going all in right here? Is this basically... And I'll tell you what, Insolence has built a nice, solid 10-worker unit advantage.
And here we go.
Uh-oh, look at the unit.
Picking up the tanks. And that all that infantry is just gone for. This definitely does not look good for Strelok, as he knows it doesn't, and throws out the GG, and Inso will be getting another point. So we will see Inso sitting at 2 points now, and Strelok sitting only at 1.
And would this have been possible before patch 1.2? You know, with the increase in build time for a Phoenix, being able to mass with the decrease in build time for the Phoenix by 10 seconds, we might not have been able to see this kind of play before patch 1.2. McDuffs, are you ready?
I am.